right, let's do this. All right, all right, all right. Let's get people in here real quick. How we doing out there today, guys? Let's make sure this audio's on. It's gonna be off. What's cracking, Big Roo? Bob Nasty, Chicano, Drone South. What it is, people. Much love, Orange County. Let's get you guys in here. We'll start getting going here in a minute. As a matter of fact, let me, I'm waiting for you guys to come in here. Let me see if I can get the phone number from the last time. I always seem to forget the damn number. Da, 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 da. Okay, what's going on, people? How we doing? Let me make this phone call real quick. I forgot to put the number. I wasn't gonna do one today, but I saw that the body cam was released today for the shooting that happened down the street from my house here. On December 23rd, it took a life of a 14-year-old girl and a 24-year-old man who was a suspect. Well, wasn't a suspect. He was assaulting people in the store. But let me make this phone call real quick so I can attach this number. Da-da-da. San Diego en la casa. What's up, Ronald Smith? Always appreciate your comments. Back in the play, homeboy. All right, let's see what we got. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, you know what? Let me Bluetooth this thing real quick. Roadcaster Pro. Da-da-da-da. Hello, hello. Can you pin this number again on the comment section? I forgot to put it on my thing. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, people, you guys know what it is. I hope you guys had a good and safe Christmas. I think for most of us, it was it was nice to get off, enjoy the family, and do the Christmas thing or whatever holiday you do or do not celebrate. But for some families, especially the family of, let me get in here real quick, especially the family of this young lady here. Did I not put her picture in here? Ta-ta. Okay, let me get her picture going real quick. Let me get a picture going here real quick. Gilly, image capture. Okay, let's go to browse real quick. It's gonna be one of these pictures, so hopefully I pick up the right one. Well, I can actually see that one. No, that's not the one I want. Discard. Yes, discard that one. So let me go here. So let me get this picture maybe. There we go. Okay. This young lady right here. This over here. This is Valentina Orellano Peralta. Hopefully I pronounced the whole name right. This young lady lost her life December 23rd, walking distance from my home at the Burlington Cone Factory in North Hollywood. There was an assault going on. Cops went in there, killed the guy, the criminal who was doing the assaults. And in the act of shooting the guy, one of the bullets went and shot into the dressing room where this young lady was just doing what, people do during Christmas, man. They were out there shopping. Some people were saying that she was getting shopping for some quinceañera later on in next year. I'm not too sure. But what is a fact is that you have a 14-year-old girl whose life has been lost tragically. And there's a lot of factors in play here. And I do have the full body cam video. And I want to go ahead and go through all that real quick with you guys. And then after that, we will, make our decision of what we think should or shouldn't happen to the police officer. And I saw this. I didn't post it because I've always noticed that people always jump the gun when it comes to police shootings. And a lot of times it's not really what it seems. So I waited for the body cam, and I will give LAPD credit for pushing it out so quick. They got up to like 40 or 45 days. Raider Laker, hey man, I appreciate that 199 super chat, brother. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Let's get right into this. So let me take a picture down, and here we go. Make sure I can hear this real quick. Hold on, maybe there's no sound.
Hello, I'm Captain Stacy Svell, Commanding Officer of Media Relations Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. This critical incident community briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred in North Hollywood Division in the city of Los Angeles on December 23, 2021 at around 11:50 a.m. You're about to see relevant video footage and learn about other evidence and police procedures related to the case so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know right now. The LAPD conducts very thorough use of force investigations, which typically require investigators
Victory Way!
Until all the facts are known and the investigation is complete. A word of caution: the images and information you're about to see may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers. Officers assigned to North Hollywood Division responded to a radio call of an assault with a deadly weapon in progress at a business in the 12,100 block of Victory Boulevard. While en route to the location, the officers received multiple radio calls from the same location that there was a possible shooting in progress and there were individuals sheltering in place. Here are several 911 calls and radio broadcasts from this incident.
Evacuate! Let's go! Everybody out!
420 with CHQ with the transfer.
Evacuate the building, everybody! Evacuate the building!
What's the emergency?
I had a hostile customer in my store attacking customers.
Okay.
12121, Victory Way!
Okay, ma'am, where is it, a male or female? Ma'am.
He's breaking things.
Ma'am, hello, I need you to listen to me so I can send some help.
Yeah.
Is it a male or a female?
Male?
What's the name of your store?
Burlington.
Where in the store is he?
Attention customers, evacuate!
Ma'am,
Evacuate.
I need you to answer my question so we can
He's
send the
inside.
police. Okay.
He's inside on
Where?
the second floor.
On the second floor. Okay. Is he
Second floor.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, or Asian?
He's Hispanic.
What color clothing is he wearing?
He's wearing a white cap.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, hold the door.
All right, so let's go a little bit forward here. I think they got a couple more phone calls, and all the phone calls are
Dude, where are you?
On the second floor, the suspect's a male Hispanic wearing a multicolored jacket.
Do not come in the building, okay?
Attempting to assault customers
Just
with a
can you
spike
do me a
block.
favor and gather
Officers
those
of the
issues that are
Animal
outside the
Defense
into the emergency?
It's code 31582 and RD 1524.
LA City 911, operator 514.
Hi, yes, can you send a unit to Burlington and North Hollywood, please? There's a guy with a gun.
You're where, Burlington and what?
North Hollywood, please go.
That's how quick narratives change. It was a deadly situation, but unfortunately, off the back, they said he has a gun. Turned out he did not have a gun. I think what they heard was he had a lock and chain. You guys will see the video. There's a good, clear video of the guy who did this, and he was hitting windows, so people were hearing pops. So people without seeing or actually seeing, they believed there was gunshots. And there you go with the cops getting more, they get nervous. Nowadays, it seems like these guys are very nervous. A lot of them aren't really, I guess, vets or whatnot, but they seem to get real spooked real easy, and that seems what happened here. So let's keep going a little bit more forward here so we can actually get down to, because all the phone calls started coming like that. And also, unfortunately, believe it or not, for people who don't live in Los Angeles, right, a lot of times, unless you say he's got a gun or this person's got a gun, the cops are going to take a long time to get there. It's a sad reality in the world we live in today. If you don't say he's got a gun, they're going to take forever. If you say somebody's fighting, they're going to take hours. It's sad, but that's just what it is. Let's keep going and see until we get it. So we got a bunch of phone calls coming in. They're all pretty much the same. They're calling to see what this gentleman has to say.
Bicycle at around 11 a.m. and took the escalator up to the second floor. He laid his bike in an aisle and walked around the store putting on clothes. A store employee made contact with the suspect about his bike. The employee left the area and the suspect smashed a computer monitor nearby. He then moved on to hit the glass railing. Next, he took the escalator down and encountered another female. He attempted to take her bag, and as the female resisted, the suspect tackled her and hit her with the lock. That female was able to break away and run out of the store. She was not identified. The suspect waited as another female came down the escalator. He attempted to grab her, but she was able to break free and run out of the store. The suspect then went back up to the second floor, to the area by the dressing room, where he observed a third female pushing a shopping cart. The suspect approached that female from behind and struck her over the head with the bike lock. That female crawled away, and the suspect grabbed her and dragged her near the dressing room and continued to beat her with the lock. Here's surveillance footage of the suspect's actions prior to the officer's arrival.
It's raining outside. Guy's definitely on drugs. Got the typical bike. Only thing he's missing is the backpack. And usually there's some kind of security guard down at the bottom, but I guess he wasn't there, or who knows, he would have done anything for this guy anyways, because it seems like people are just so scared nowadays to do anything. So that's the guy right there. Got the brown hat turned backwards. Got the tank top. Got the long socks. You see him. I mean, it's you got to remember it's very cold and rainy outside, so he's obviously on something. Let's speed it up a little bit. See what's going on. Same guy. So this time he must have put a chamarra on. I think this is where they're trying to tell him he needs to get out of the store. It looks like he's changed because now he's got some pants on. So maybe he went and got some clothes from the store and just put it on. That's what it seems like to me. All right, let's keep going. Not a whole lot going on at this time. If anybody's in there, nobody's probably even thinking nothing's going on. It's the 23rd of December. It's 11:30 in the morning. Everybody's, getting their final shopping, getting their clothes ready. Everybody's getting ready for the 24th because most Latinos, we celebrate on the 24th. So the next day to us is actually Christmas. And nobody's really thinking anything's really that wrong other than this guy over there with the bike, maybe. All right, so something went down right there. Did he just hit her real quick? Let's go back to that real quick. What's this guy doing? The lady's telling him he can't be in there with the bike. Smacks her in the butt. Just a bunch of ladies there, so you don't see any men. But even then, nowadays it's like the men to help nowadays. It's a dying breed. It's a damn shame. There's the okay. Now he's got that lock in hand. Now he's starting to get aggressive with it, and that lock will definitely harm you and will definitely bust your head open. California, and actually all of California is turning into. You see those people shopping back there, they're not even phased by it. They're not even flinching. They keep shopping because they don't want to get involved. One. Two, this is becoming the norm out here. This is becoming the norm. Seeing a bunch of twacked out ass fools acting a fool inside stores, inside shopping malls, everywhere, and nobody wants to do anything because if that guy, let's say nothing else would have happened, the cops would have took him outside, wouldn't even wrote him a ticket and told him to get out of there. That's all that would have happened if he wouldn't have assaulted the lady, right? That is becoming the norm because we're letting this garbage become the norm. Oh no, we're not taking phone calls. We'll take phone calls in a little bit once we get done with the full video, guys. All right, let's keep going. He's pumping himself up. He's pumping himself up. Let's go forward a little bit. See what this jackass is doing. Okay, here we go. This lady's just trying to get by him. He's going there, groping her. She's going to the ground. Oh, Jesus. And could you imagine that could have been your mother, your aunt, anybody in your family? You got this other older lady there with the cane. Cops still haven't came. I'm not even sure if they've called the police yet. But even though, like I said, when you call the cops for stuff like this and it hasn't been an assault, it hasn't been, they're gonna take forever. They're gonna say, "Oh, it's another weirdo at the store." That's all they're gonna do. That's the point we're getting into here in California. It's a damn shame. This fool's taking his pants off or something. Oh Jesus! Do you imagine the fear this woman's having right now? This all happened on, was it Wednesday? What was that? Thursday, the 23rd of December. I believe it was a Wednesday, 11 a.m. in the morning, out here in North Hollywood, walking distance from my home. At this point, suspect exits the store for approximately 1.5 minutes and re-enters through the front door. Hold on, guys. We'll wait on that phone call. Okay, so this is when the cops finally start coming in the store. This is the stuff we got to pay some real close attention to. And just let you guys know, I have not watched the video yet. This is my first time as well watching this video. This video just came out maybe 2 hours ago. Okay. All right, what happened? Let's go back a little bit. I missed something here. 619, relax, stop calling. Oh, Jesus. You see him cocking his hand. This lady, like I said, this is all going on. They're telling people to leave the store. You could see him cocking his arm with the chain right there. Hold on, let me blow this thing up a little bit bigger. Boom. That's where he hits the lady. He's hitting her with that chain and with the lock on it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me here? Nobody's there to help her. No security in the store. No men around. No nothing, man. This lady's all on her own. Boom. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? You see at the top of the screen right there, you see a little black like shadow. That's the cops coming in right now. She's on the floor. She's bloodied up in the head. This guy's still cracking her. Oh my God. Jesus. All right, here comes the cops.
As officers arrived at the location, they were directed upstairs to the suspect and began a search. During that search, officers located a female who was suffering from various injuries and bleeding. They encountered the suspect a short distance away, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. The suspect was struck by gunfire and taken into custody. The Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics responded and determined the suspect deceased at scene. Unbeknownst to the officers, a 14-year-old girl was in the changing room behind a wall that was behind the suspect and out of the officer's view. She was in the changing area with her mother when the officers encountered the suspect and the officer-involved shooting occurred. During a search for additional suspects and victims, officers found the girl and discovered she had been struck by gunfire, and she was determined deceased at scene. At this preliminary phase of the investigation, it is believed that the victim was struck by one of the rounds fired. Without audio from the previous...
Hey, get distance. Hey, back up. We have a victim down. Victim down. Hey, slow down. Hey, slow down. Slow down. Let me take point with the rifle. Hey, back up. Get out. He's going to two.
You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Word.
He's hitting right on the right-hand side.
Hey, she's bleeding. She's bleeding.
Hold up. I got it.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Hey, take off.
Turn around! Get on your fucking stomach! Turn around! Get on your fucking stomach! Turn around. Get your hand down. Get your hand down. Hear that. Here, I'll come. Grab my two, Sergeant. I got big stick. It's on now. Big stick. I can't get the arm.
Hey, get all right.
That's just different views. Let's go back to that original one.
He's going to two. You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Word.
He's hitting right on the right-hand side.
Hey, she's bleeding. She's bleeding.
Hold up. I got it.
That was it.
Hey, she's bleeding. She's bleeding.
Hold up.
was from different cops over there.
Hey, careful with that.
Wow. And right there and then, in those few seconds, the girl lost her life. Let me answer this guy. He's been blowing me up. What's going on, my man? You're not patient at all. How are you?
Nah, Gil, man. Nah, man. I was looking at this video that you're showing
Yeah.
about this little girl that got killed, man, and it's pretty sad to say, you know.
It's horrible,
And,
brother. It's horrible.
you know, we got to think of the girl's family and what happened and everything. And you know, there's a lot to say about this video, including the cop, the AR,
That's what I was
or
thinking.
you
When
know,
I
that type of firepower coming in
that's what I was thinking.
coming with a lot,
Hope,
right? So
hope
they
if
have a bunch of cops there.
yeah,
Everybody has a gun. You know, they decide to use the most, you know, the highest firepower they have.
the most caliber. Yeah.
So I would say, for me, looking at this, right, and let me tell you a little bit about my background first.
Please.
Did 15 years in prison. Understand how, you know, sort of how the law works, right?
Right.
To a certain extent, and how they work there. But I would say this goes to the, you know, for the most part, you know, the people that are calling the shots, right? To say, hey, this guy could go in there with this AR, and should go in there with this AR, including with all these cops that have guns, right?
Right.
You know, and showing what the consequences are of those decisions that they're making. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, no, I'm
seeing you
I'm
on
sorry.
camera.
I was adjusting the volume real quick. I had your volume low because the body camera of the cops volume was so high. So I'm sorry if you can repeat that one more time.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you know, the cops going in there with that type of firepower, I think, was unnecessary.
Correct.
You know, I think having that many cops on scene, all with guns, right? I don't know if they think like it's some kind of terrorist act or what they're thinking, right? And you know, even with that said, even if it was or if not, they should play the odds and say, you know, this is probably one of these instances where, you know, at the very most, it's probably someone with a gun.
Yeah, no, but
How many people do we need?
with the listen, with the cops being as many as they are, I don't think that's an issue. I think that's perfectly fine. But if they have, it's in other words, you're an ex-con, right? As you said.
Yeah.
So you know what the
Yeah.
street life is like. If I'm going to somebody's hood and I'm deep as fuck with all the homies, you don't got to be all panicked. In other words, these guys are going deep. Everybody's strapped. If they see a gun, then yeah, you're gonna take that kind of that shot right there and then. But you can clearly see there was no gun. I think the officer saw the lady bleed on the floor, was panicked themselves. They already had some calls that they said there was shots fired. So these guys were going in there with the adrenaline pumping thing. There's a guy with a gun out here. He's shooting people already. They're thinking it's a mass shooting thing. That's what when I first heard two people were killed, I said, "Oh Jesus!" Somebody went in there, started shooting the place up. So I think that's what the cops went in with.
Yeah.
But that guy made a big mistake by shooting the gun he did. How quick he did, I believe.
And I agree with you. That is my point.
Yes.
That is at the end of the day that, you know, we're making it in different ways. We're making the same point.
Yes, sir.
But what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying is, you know, that guy using that type of caliber, knowing that's going to go through that body, knowing it's going to go through that wall, you know, and still deciding, hey, we got to do it, right? And I'm not even blaming the cop that did it. You know, I'm gonna blame the people that trained them and the people that gave the okay to do that.
Yeah, no,
right?
And listen, it's a horrible story all the way around because that officer also, I can guarantee you, he did not celebrate Christmas with his family. I mean, I'm sure he was there, but mentally, there's no way you're going to take a 14-year-old girl's life and be okay with that. That guy's definitely going through his own issues as well, I'm sure.
And I agree with that, but I think that the heat should come down on, you know, not at the scene, because the narrative is going to be, you know, this cop did this and this.
Right.
At the end of the day, this little girl died. Right. At the end of the day.
Right.
Whatever, you know, we could say whatever we want to say, But at the end of the day, this family's gonna be like, man, you know, your words are not comforting me because I gotta bury my little girl.
Right.
At the end of the day, right? So it needs to come down on the people that are not on the scene, the people that gave that AR to the cop and said, go in there.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
needs to be.
Hey, my man, I appreciate the phone call. I got some bunch of people blowing me up. I'm gonna try to get him in here. Thank you for the call, huh?
I got.
You got it. Let's see what's typing in here. Gator, what's good?
The way, dude, that cop needs to go to prison.
Oh,
I don't know.
now
if
you're Gator, huh? Big Roger, how you doing, Roger? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Hey, go ahead, listen, bro. No, on the serious topic, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, I'm glad that you brought this up, and this is really important, dude, for us Hispanics, dude. We really have to back our own people. Did you hear the cop earlier when he said, "Oh, let me get him with the rifle"?
No, I didn't. I got to go back and look at it.
Yeah, he said that. Let me get him with the rifle. He said that. I saw your video, and I was like watching. It was kind of boring, but then he said, I heard the cop. He said, "Let me get him with the rifle," and then he ran over there. Dude, these are 2.23 rounds. I know because I used to be in the service.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, it's a civilian version of the 5.56.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just a little bit less weight. These things can go through walls. If me, as a legal citizen, I have to know that if I shoot at a home invader, this thing can go through my wall and hit my neighbor.
Yes.
That's how deadly these rounds are.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, I can kill some.
Yeah, and you would most likely get charged if you did that.
Yes, I would. I absolutely would. And you know, it's a very because I understand the whole what's going on right now with so this is deeper than everything. I mean, there's a whole defund the police, and it's a bunch of horrible events, right?
Yes,
They're
sir.
causing this, but at the same time, no, honestly, you know, this poor little girl. I mean, she could have been my. It's just
Yeah.
It almost want to fight, dude.
Well, it's your little girl. It could be your mom in the store getting beat down. It could be anybody. It's all women this guy was picking on. It's horrible, brother.
No, I understand that, but at the same time, bro, this guy, like, come on, bro. You have cops there with pistols, you know, with 9mm. I mean, dude. I mean, you know, they could have done something else. You know, they could have tased them. They could have done whatever it is. I mean, I understand that he was beating people at the same time, but you know, this guy. I think the downfall for the police in this own case is when the guy said this in his video. I want you to go back.
I will, Roger. I will
go back and say, hey, let me get him with the rifle.
Hey, Roger.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna get to the phone call, man. I appreciate the phone call, my man. And to hustle from the struggle, you always never heard of talk radio. If I let people talk, they'll talk forever, my man. Hate to break the news to you. This is how we do it. Let's see what we got. What's going on? What you got to say? What's up, Renee? Talk to me.
So I'm listening to your.
Hey, Renee, if you could please turn down the whatever you're listening to on, because I'm getting back feed over here. Feedback.
I'm listening to your podcast. I'm paying attention to everything that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
In all fairness, watching the video, listening to the actual video footage, it plainly states, you know, he walking in, don't know what he's really walking into. You see a guy standing there, he just beat up a woman. Justifiable? He shot him. What's not justifiable is that it went through him and hit the wall. We get that.
Okay.
We know that the cops have to deal with a lot of crazy people out there, and I'm not defending the cop at all.
Okay.
Could have used a smaller caliber, of course, yes. But at the end of the day, he took out a person that was beating the hell out of some woman. You got to look at it from that standpoint, man. I have to agree with the cops' justifiable shooting. I think it's justified in all fairness.
Okay, so my answer to you is this. Absolutely, when it comes to shooting that guy and killing that guy, 100%. He had every right. However, at the same time, when the cop turned that aisle and looked at the guy wasn't even nowhere near him, nowhere near striking distance to the victim. The guy was actually backpedaling and going backwards at the time that he got shot. That means that would still give the cop time to say, I didn't hear one time, like Rooster said, get down. There was no kind of, direction to do anything. So it was pretty much the cop just walking up on the guy and boom, boom, boom. That was it. There was no direction. There was no get down. There was nothing. The guy jumped forward. It seemed to me like that split second decision of the cop jumping that gun cost that little girl her life. If he would have said get down, the guy would have started coming forward. It would have made a different outcome. But that split second decision of I'm just going to shoot this guy seemed like that's what cost the girl her life.
I agree with you there. I'm not going to deny what you're saying right there. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, you're walking into a shitstorm. I apologize for the language.
No, go ahead.
You're walking into a shitstorm. You really don't know what's transpiring. You're getting different information from different sources. You don't know 100% clearly of what's going on. You're
Right.
getting all these phone calls. And you gotta remember, these cops on a daily basis. I'm not defending cops by all means.
No, we're having a adult conversation about it.
You know?
Whether you're defending or
So
not, it's no big deal.
At this point, it's you gotta remember they're seeing it from one side. Of course, a police officer only sees one side. Everyone is bad. Remember, they deal with people day and night. Craziness. And at this point, you turn the corner, you see a lady just like trying to crawl, barely probably crawling at that point, looking bloody as hell. You really don't understand what's going on at that point. So the guy's in his mind, I think, man, I'm gonna take this guy out. To hell with it.
No, and I hear you, but
in the world,
but
that
and
then the shots that went through.
that's
you're
what
right,
happens.
The
That-
caliber was wrong.
yeah, he should not have been with the M16 in there. That's
I
crazy,
think the
brother.
phasing probably wouldn't have done nothing. He probably was loped out, high up.
Yeah,
high
he was
up
on
in
meth.
the-
I mean, he was on meth. There's no doubt about it. He was on meth. And people say,
Yeah.
how do you know he was on meth, Gil? I see these fuckers all the time out here. That fool was on meth, homeboy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, my man, I appreciate the phone call. I got Long Beach calling up. Here we go. See what we got from Long Beach calling. I'm sorry. What's your name? What you calling about? Talk to me.
About the shooting over at the Brain Coal factory,
Yes, sir.
the police shooting that you're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
Hey, so I'll make it quick because I know your phone's blowing up, but I mean the cops had what they had to work with was the comments of the call that says basically stated there's possibly an
Shooting.
active shooter, so
Right.
they're going there obviously with that. Once they made contact with the suspect, and I think we can all agree that lock he had, if it hits somebody in the right place, it can kill someone.
Of course. Yes.
So I think their mentality was probably, and when they were approaching the dude, if this guy gets away, they already saw what he did to one person. If they let him get away and possibly, let's say he goes into, a locked office, gets one of the employees and starts beating him up and kills him, I think their mentality was, hey, let's stop the immediate threat now. And it's unfortunate because police officers are trained to always look at your background when you're going to shoot at somebody.
Yeah.
Always look at the background. If you're in downtown LA, I mean, you're probably not going to shoot someone, or you're going to take a second guess at it because, you might hit somebody in the back. There's so many people walking around, but they're thinking they're just dealing with a wall behind them.
Yeah, but
So
this
they're
is
probably trying to prevent him from getting away.
But
Go
this,
ahead.
but this is also the question. Okay, you're absolutely correct. The whole scenario, but what people also need to understand is this is December 23rd in a store with a lot of people in there. So if this was also, let's put the scenario in Beverly Hills. In some kind of fancy store, we got a lot of rich people in there.
Right.
Are the cops going to go in there
Right.
as aggressive and start shooting, or are they going to be a little more reserved and say, no, wait a minute, we got people around here that can get shot? December 23rd,
right.
2 days before Christmas, one of the busiest shopping days of the year. So these guys need to think, hey, we can't just shoot that easily in here. But it seems like sometimes, a lot of times in the hood, in the ghettos, whatever, the barrios, they're quicker to pull out the gun and shoot somebody than they would be in a nicer part of town. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're not wrong, but I think in the moment, obviously, it's all going to be in the officer's perspective, what he thought at the moment. But the background there was a wall. They didn't see any people running or anything
Right.
like that. I totally get what you're saying. If it was a crowded mall and there's a bunch of people running everywhere,
But
then it changes the dynamic.
but they have to
When you're
assume
dealing
they
with a
have to
suspect-
they have
go
to
ahead, sir.
assume that there's people hiding. There's people. I'm sure that girl wasn't even in the dressing room like regular dressing. She was probably hiding by the chair underneath the table or something. She was probably hiding because everybody was clearing the whole place. I'm sure they got on the horn and said, "Everybody leave the building, everything."
Right.
So they gotta assume there's people hiding back here. You can't just nilly-willy start shooting people. Do I think the cop went in there and think I'm gonna kill this girl today? No, I don't think so at all. But it's just a
Absolutely.
sad and
You're
unfortunate.
right.
Thank you for the phone call, my man. Appreciate it.
All right, go stay on.
You got 909 calling. What's good, Dan? What say you?
Oh man, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, my man. Just getting into this crazy thing where this poor girl lost her life, man.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Just looking at your live, man. Seeing what's up.
And that's it.
It's over or what?
No, we're live right now, Dan. What do you got to say, man?
Oh, nah, man, nothing, man. Just you know,
Want to
gotta
tap
agree
in?
with yeah, I gotta agree with that, man. You know, the cops didn't know that the little girl was behind the wall. You know, and wrong place, wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Just a bad situation all around. Thank you for the phone call, Dan. Appreciate it. What else we got?
Cholo,
For-
I'll get at you some more.
For sure, brother.
All right,
Appreciate it. All right, brother. Late. Yeah, but that's the thing. Why just 2 days before Christmas in a crowded department store did the police need to open fire? That is the big question that should be answered. Do I believe that the officers should be charged and for manslaughter or anything like that? Absolutely not. I'm not going that route. We got Colorado. What's up, caller? What you got to say? Hello. Yeah, you're on the air, buddy. Talk to me.
It has to happen, man. When things happen when you have to make a life going home, you have to.
You got a real bad connection, my man. You got a real bad connection. Call me when you get a better connection. Yeah, there's people that think. Listen, it's a horrible situation. Let me tell you something else that how I even found out it was a young guy. I actually met the mother of Daniel Elena Lopez. That's the shooter, the 24-year-old guy. I actually met his mother. I believe it was on was it Saturday? I believe on Saturday I met the guy's mother. I was coming back from getting some firewood. I got some flowers, and I went and dropped some flowers off right there at the Burlington Coal Factory. And as I'm dropping flowers off right there, there's a minivan parked in the front. I see a lady in there. She comes out y me dice, ¿Es conocido tuyo? Le dije, no lo conocía. He said, I didn't know anybody. He's like, yeah, that was my son that died. I said, oh, I thought right away, oh God, it was her son who was the guy assaulting the people. I didn't hold any judgment towards the lady. That's the mom. And ya de señora, she's an older lady, man. So she must have had the guy, probably in her 40s because she seemed like she was 60 years old, or maybe just the death of her son. And she's asking me about I know him. I said I did not. I said I just came here to show my respects. I live down the street. This is my neighborhood. And I asked her, how old was he? She tells me 24 years old. I said, I'm sorry, I said, if you don't mind me asking, was he on drugs? And she tells me, yeah, he was heavily on drugs. He was kind of losing his mind. And, the only thing I could say is, my apologies. I gave her a hug and my condolences. And, I can't sit here and get upset at the woman, even though I'm sure some people would say, that's your son, this and that. That lady lost her son, man. That lady lost her son on December 23rd. That little girl lost her life on December 23rd, man. And that cop, he killed a little girl. It's a horrible situation all the way around. But this situation goes back to what I've been beating the drum, and people think I'm crazy, is the drug addicts out here, man. That's all from drugs. That's all from drugs. That's all from cops not arresting these guys. I'm sure if you look at this guy's jacket, I'm sure he's been in stores doing all kind of stupid stuff, whereas before he would get arrested, be in the county jail. They would suffer some kind of backlash where they would say, I need to get off drugs. But the way that's running out here in Los Angeles and all of California is they're letting drug addicts do whatever the hell they want. And I've been telling people it's only going to get worse. You're going to see these situations more and more every year because these guys are getting high off some garbage ass dope. They're losing their marbles. Oh, no, Gil, they have mental issues. Yeah, they got mental issues because they're smoking meth, homie. It's not a fucking puzzle. It's not. I just don't understand how people don't see it. They want to sit there and hug these guys. No, they're dope fiends. They need to be treated as such. They need to be arrested when they're acting a fool. They need to be put in some kind of rehabilitation. We can't sit here and hug our way out of a problem. It's only going to get worse. When you see these ladies getting assaulted, go back, look at the videos. That could be your jefa. That could be your tia. These were all women. There wasn't one single man who got assaulted in this whole thing. These were all women and a little girl who lost her life. because you got drug addicts running amok out here in California, and politicians are too scared to say anything because they're too scared to offend people. Well, fuck that, man. Is that what's going to take? Is it going to take your guys' niece or daughter to get killed? Because if that was my daughter, I'm sorry, but I can't sit there and say, well, the guy was justified, shit out of luck. No, hell no. That's my daughter, homie. There's no way I'm going to sit there and have anybody tell me, well, it was justified. And I get that. Was the justifying that guy? Yeah. Too much gunpowder, too quick. Didn't even give any second to say, hey, get down, stop. Nothing, brother. Nothing. And I'm not one of those guys that says, oh, shoot him in the foot. No, you shoot to kill. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But at that point in time, if he would have walked on the guy when he was banging the lady on the side, hitting her on the top, boom. Yes, he shoots to kill right there and then. At the time that this happened, they had a distance of about, 15 feet, 20 feet. That's how long those aisles are. There was no immediate threat to anybody at that specific moment that guy decided to shoot his gun. So what I believe, this is my personal opinion and my opinion only. My opinion is this. That cop should end up being on desk duty. That cop should never be out in the field with a gun, period. Should he keep his job as a cop? Sure, go ahead. But you got to be on desk duty, buddy, because what you did, you took a life of a 14-year-old little girl. Did you mean to? No, I'm sure you didn't. But that still stands. You took the life of a 14-year-old little girl because you didn't wait half a second, you to give a direction to get down. If you would at least give a direction, get down, and that fool would have came forward, boom. There's nothing I can say or anybody else can say. It's all that guy's fault. But this, for the most part, it's that jackass's fault. It's the cop's fault. But it's also all these soft-ass politicians that keep telling you, oh, don't worry, we're making little houses for these guys. We're making little tents for these guys. These guys are just kill you. You don't understand them. They have issues. We all got fucking issues, but you don't see me going around busting ladies' heads with a lock because I'm pissed off that day. You think these guys are the only ones with issues? We got bills to pay. We got family problems, people. We're tax-paying people out here. We're taking care of business, but we get treated like this. We get our children killed because they're too fucking busy worrying about the dope fiends, the crackheads, and the tecatos out here. That's the fucking problem. And with that, people, I'm out, man.